Thank you, Adrian. Good evening, everyone. Well, at Christmas, all the talk is about the sack. If you're a kid, anticipation. What's in it? If you're a football manager, anxiety. Am I the next one to receive it? At Wolves and at Southampton, Christmas is cancelled. Whilst at West Ham, the Christmas decorations are hanging by a thread, tinsel is trodden underfoot, and balls are swaying dangerously. Despite saying he absolutely loves it, victory last week only looks to have offered a stay of execution for Julian Lopetegui, whose underwhelming reign limps on like a three-legged reindeer. Lose tonight, and the stocking pinned to the chimney will only hold a P45. If by some Christmas miracle they do what Arsenal, Tottenham, City and Newcastle failed to do and win here on the South Coast, maybe they can rescue a season that is threatening to slip away faster than Santa's sleigh. But it looks unlikely. Their opponents, Bournemouth, aren't easily knocked off course. Just as aggressive as a kid on Christmas morning, for their supporters the cherries are the gift that keeps on giving. Last week they were beaten at Ipswich and then they weren't, and it's that sort of magic that has led to Andoni Iraola being as popular around here as Father Christmas. Bournemouth without Senesi and Tavernier for a while have Evanilson supported by Semenyo and Ouattara in attack tonight. West Ham have Jaradona up front again, as he is becoming affectionately known, through the middle and supported by Paquetá and Mohamed Kudus. Our referee is Chris Kavanagh, VAR is Michael Salisbury. This is one of our festive 50, a week that starts with Bournemouth's West Ham, Test cricket, darts and 3 of the 4 Carabao Cup quarter-finals, all live on our network. Talk Sport has got Christmas covered. Danny Murphy is our prize bauble, but it's West Ham who need to handle this game with care, because Bournemouth are a box of tricks.
Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth playing free, lots of confidence, in a great position in the Premier League, just want to carry it on. West Ham needs to get some stability and some consistency in their performances. By the way, that was a great intro.
Did you like that?
Don't mean to me, I mean the whole thing, the Christmas analogies, all of that.
Oh, you're happy, are you, tonight? That's good.
That was good.
I like to see you brought a bit of Christmas spirit with you. We're underway, live on TalkSport on game night, with West Ham United attacking the goal away to our left. White shirts and claret shorts, white socks, and it's black and red striped jerseys, black shorts and black socks attacking the goal away to our right hand side. It's been 5 years since Bournemouth last beat West Ham. Since then 7 matches have come and gone, and the Cherries have failed to overcome the Hammers in any of them. And it is the second meeting of the season. West Ham won a League Cup tie between them earlier in the campaign. Guess who scored the goal?
Jared Bowen.
Well done. Free kick, Kilman to take it, 10 yards inside his own half, wide on the left. He clips it high into the night sky, which is obscured by a waft of the pyrotechnic smoke which is lingering in the air around this very tiny, small Premier League venue, the smallest of the lots, with 4 independent stands, gaps in the corners, and a row of, a maximum of about 20 seats backwards, and it holds only 11,000 here at the Vitality Stadium. The West Ham fans over in the far corner opposite us are making a good noise right from the start. Alvarez heads the ball through the centre circle out towards the right. Milos Kerkez sends it forward, cut out by Sofal, but given away to Evanilson, and Bournemouth are on the attack. Down the left is Ouattara, gets onto his right foot, tries a cross into the box, which is blocked, and it comes back as far as Lewis Cook, who keeps Bournemouth on the front foot, halfway inside West Ham territory. It's on towards the left. There's a little slip there by Justin Kluivert. He lost the ball. There's a bit of a Cucurellas going on there.
Good start from Bournemouth, pinning them in a little bit there. Had an opportunity to get the cross in. Ouattara.
2 minutes gone. It's Premier League football live on a Monday night on TalkSport. Keep you in touch with what happens in the Fleetwood-Accrington game in League 2, a bit of a basement battle. Those 2 teams towards the bottom of League 2, although Fleetwood a little bit higher than Accrington. We'll keep you in touch with that throughout the course of the night here, and the darts as well, where James Wade crashed out in round 1. The 2021 winner, Gerwyn Price, in action later tonight around about 10:20. It's live on TalkSport 2. Ball cleared forward by Fabianski, up towards Souček, headed away by captain Adam Smith of Bournemouth in the right full-back position, just in front of the dugouts. The ball just dribbles out of play. It's thrown in by Semenyo, and on halfway, turning away from Alvarez, It's Evanilson feeding Christie, who lays it off and looks for the return from Semenyo. He gets down the right side, across comes Kilman on the cover and nabs it off his toes, and the Scotsman was beaten to it, and it's cleared away by Kilman. Kept alive by Cook, but only momentarily, because it's picked up by Soler, who tried to release Bowen quickly, but stepping across was the Ukrainian Zabani and won the ball for Bournemouth. A fast start to the game, good pace to it.
Really good.
Here down the left is Kirkes, getting on the overlap, pulling the ball back. It's blocked by Pakataru, did his defensive work, and it bounces out of play and goes out for a corner over on the far side. This is TalkSport, and we've only played a handful of minutes here, just 3, and it's 0-0.
One thing's really obvious when you watch Bournemouth play is how comfortable and happy and willing they are to run without the ball, to give options to the players on the ball. Not something we always see. A lot of teams, you see players always coming towards the ball. Give it to me, I want a touch. Constantly running in behind people.
Here's the corner taken by Cookie towards the near post. There was a bit of a push at the front post, but the ball's been sent back towards Fabianski from the edge of the area. It loops into his arms, and wearing a bright pink outfit today, he runs to the edge of the penalty area and will clear upfield. Bournemouth's start to the season is their best after 15 games of a Premier League campaign. A lot of that is down to the tactical now, Stan, the setup, the planning, and a lot of it is down to the work ethic. And Andoni Iraola certainly demands that. Kirkes has lost out to Sofal, who's got into the penalty area. He didn't know what the hell to do with that. It bounced up in front of him. He looked over his shoulder. He realised there was no one around him. He had to shoot, and he can't. And it went miles over the top.
Well, it's a nothing ball forward, really, and it's Kirkes that miskicks it, and he gets in Sofal. To be fair to him, there's nobody there. Yeah. He's better smash putting his foot through it, but he's just got to take his time. He slashes at it instead of just calmly waiting for it to drop a bit lower to guide it to the far post. But you don't really expect fullbacks to score very often, do we?
It was a look over his shoulder there, wasn't it? That was apparent. He saw that no one else was there, so he had to hit it, and he wasn't comfortable when doing so, and it went well wide of the goal. Free kick given against Carlos Soler, who we've seen a little bit more of recently than maybe we did in the first few weeks of the season, on loan from PSG. A little bit more forward thinking than Guido Rodriguez, who was also brought in the summer. Yeah, he's on loan from PSG.
Nice footballer.
West Ham season is salvageable. They aren't so far away from the European places that they would write off the campaign at this stage. It's the fact that performances really have created a bit of doubt amongst those on the sidelines. Kilman, the strong shrugging off of Evanilson, which didn't go down well amongst the home crowd, and then as Soler tries to release Bowen, in steps Howson.
That's 3 he's given away, Soler on the spin. Lopetegui's not happy about it.
Paquetá trying to feed it forward. He's given it away now too. Eventually between Soler and Paquetá they managed to retain possession, and Alvarez comes bounding upfield into the centre of the Bournemouth half, and then it's nabbed by Kluivert, and there was a chance to break here, and he does so at speed. The Dutchman, who scored 4 goals of his 5 from the penalty spot, plays it infield towards Semenyo. He takes over, a bit of space for him, and Kluivert's gone on a run down the inside the right channel. That's given a gap for Semenyo to run into. He's done that well. He's got support from Smith and from Christie, edge of the area. Now on the edge of the D, the Scotsman strikes it left-footed towards the far corner, took a nick, goes out for a corner, and it was a good move by Bournemouth. So quick in transition, so razor sharp when they get going from deep, and they almost picked apart the West Ham defence.
Well, it's poor from West Ham. They give the ball away 2 or 3 times in the middle of the park, and then you're in a real bit of trouble. Kluivert was nice and positive, fed it into Semenyo, who's really missed him on the return. He was one-on-one with Alvarez, but he could just get his head up and slide him in. Took too many touches.
Cook to take the corner kick over on the far side. They're a big team, West Ham. They've got good height in there. I think Bournemouth, if they're going to score from a set piece, will have to create something inventive, and they've done that. They did that against Arsenal earlier in the season. Here is Lewis Cook into the near post. A flick by Evanilson, comes through to Semenyo. Oh, and he almost got hold of it. That was the plan.
Same move, wasn't it? Near post flick.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well choreographed. And they do have fascinating players, actually. Some of them very young still. Bournemouth. Kirkes has been a real threat on that left-hand side. He's Bournemouth's Anthony Robinson, isn't he, with his overlapping runs. In fact, only Anthony Robinson does more overlapping runs than Milos Kirkes. Semenyo's been in great form, and he also knows how to help a defence stacked with youth by the odd tactical foul. They're very good at that too. Away by Wan-Bissaka. Forward by Cook. down by Alvarez, who actually I think handballed it but gave it away anyway. So
well, he didn't give it away, but it was brilliant anticipation from Evan Nielsen. He's so good at that. He's waiting for it to drop wherever, and he's on his front foot all the time, just trying to cause problems.
Ouattara down in the left wing position for Bournemouth, floats the ball to the far post. Semenya rises up higher than Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but can't get any proper purchase on the ball, and it flicks down into the arms of Fabianski. And West Ham United will clear. It's 0-0, 7.5 minutes played, live on TalkSport 2. With Sky Sports. TalkSport 2's got the darts. Don't forget that you can stream the biggest Premier League games available, no contract with Now, like Bournemouth versus West Ham, live right now. Search Now Sports. Here is Souček in the centre circle, flicking it out towards the near side. It's betwixt and between Kudus and Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka's playing on the wrong side again tonight, on this left-hand side. Comes in, plays it for Carlos Soler, who's in the dead centre of the Bournemouth half. What do you make of that sacrifice? Because they've got no Emerson tonight, he's suspended. Wan-Bissaka having to go out to the near side of the left. He's been playing very well on the right.
I don't mind it. I think his main strength's defensively, so whichever side he's on, you're going to be reliable on that side from a defensive point of view. I mean, this is a fascinating battle between Wan-Bissaka and Semenya tonight. He's arguably one of the best fullbacks one-on-one defender defensively, so it suited them. Even if he did want to move him back, I'd have been tempted to keep him there against Semenya anyway.
Well, it's important that West Ham win tonight, having beat Wolves, not convincingly, but they need to break the trend that they've set of following each victory with a defeat. And they usually do pretty well against Bournemouth. Here is Semenya on the near touchline, immediately engaged by Wan-Bissaka. Illegally so. It's going to be a free kick just inside his own half. Areola's not happy. They wanted to play it quickly. The ball was moving. So I don't know. I didn't like that.
It's the rules are the rules. He's saying it's moving to avoid giving him a yellow. It didn't look like he was moving to me. Kudos obviously stopped it to try and prevent a quick free kick.
Well, 9 minutes played, and the name of Mikel Antonio rings around the Vitality Stadium, still undergoing treatment and will be for quite some time now on that fractured lower limb that he had surgery on after that car accident last Saturday. Our best wishes to him.
Absolutely.
Here is Fabianski inside the 18-yard box away to our right on what is a temperate evening on the south coast. It's been a bit squally, a few showers just before kick-off, which made the surface slick. And it's glistening under the floodlights here at the quaint Vitality Stadium. Ball sent wide by 19-year-old Housen into the path of Smith, who tries to feed Semenya, but across goes Wan-Bissaka. And he feeds Kudus, who gets a return from Soler, and they're on the break now, and Smith's going to try and get back, but it's going to be difficult because Kudus is good at running with the ball, brilliant at dribbling with it, cuts infield, looks to play it out to the right hand side. Paquetá gets it onto his left foot, his shot is blocked, tries to feed it down the right channel for Souček, but across comes Kirkesh and shovels the ball out to the far side, and it's away for a throw. Good defending. Good recovery runs. That's the quality West Ham have in forward areas. Kudus picks up the ball, you know you're in trouble, and Paquetá as well has got that quality around the box. Little warning there for Bournemouth not to get complacent. Throw in from the far side, so foul, long, big, huge catapult into the box, which comes back out of the area, headed back by Alvarez and cleared by Housen up towards halfway. Touched down to the right towards Sofao, engaged quickly by Ouattara. Kirkesh is there again, putting pressure on the Paquetá. It goes out for a throw-in over on the far side. It's not just this season that Iraola has got this Bournemouth team prime. If you actually calculate the figures since November last year and that iffy start that they had, Bournemouth have accumulated the 6th most points in the league. That is how consistent they have been over the course of that very long period, actually, something that West Ham can only dream of right now. Their inconsistency is famous. Done a wonderful job. I mean, that first, I think it was, Adrian was saying, 3 points in the first 9 games, wasn't it, when he first came? I was worried for him. I was worried for them. Evan Nielsen flicks it on towards Kluivert, gets it back to Semenya, who bobbles the ball towards goal, and it goes on the outside of the post and kisses it and goes behind. Well, I thought he was going to find the bottom corner of the net. He didn't strike it cleanly. It was a lovely move, sent long by the goalkeeper up towards the right. Semenya wins the first header. It goes behind Evan Nielsen, but he keeps it alive. He flicks it over the top of Kilman's head on towards Kluivert, who dabs it down back to Semenya. His touch a little bit scruffy, but he guided it towards the far corner, and it kissed the outside of the post. It's actually a poor finish, poor technical finish. Good chance that, and he scuffs it.
not good at all. But I tell you what, that epitomised West Ham's problems. Didn't win the first header. Kilman's diving in on the second one, trying to win it when he didn't need to, and all of a sudden Semenyo's in for a one-on-one and scuffs it and hits the outside of the post. But it's a poor finish from a technical point of view. Didn't catch his sweet at all.
Great opportunity for Bournemouth to take the lead here after just 12 and a half minutes. It's 0-0. Kudus now goes to break down the left-hand side. He gets into the left wing position, produces a cross, it bounces off Smith and spirals behind into the Steve Fletcher stand and out for a first West Ham United corner of the evening away to our left. Solera going to take it, places it in the quadrant. He's got 6 or 7 to aim at inside the box. 7 in fact, with Sofau on the edge as well. Wan-Bissaka is the back marker. It's towards the far post and Kilman coming in underneath. It was unmarked and he headed it towards goal. It took a flick off a Bournemouth defender and was nudged behind and away for another corner.
He did enough there. Ouattara, I think it was. Just as Kilman makes contact, back post again, similar to what they did at Wolves. Big loopy one to the back. Just did enough.
Here is the corner from Soler again, this time into a more central area. In fact, it was near post and it was cleared away before Kilman could engage with it. Flicked further clear by Lewis Cook, recovered by Sofau. He sent it forward aimlessly and it was cut out easily by Kirkesh, who will kick it clear. Almost Bournemouth give the ball away inside their own half. In fact, they almost did it twice and then Souček puts it out and away for a throw-in over on the far side. Still 0-0. Go back to last week. We were at the London Stadium last week. The atmosphere was so flat inside the stadium for most of the night, really. I don't think that was just because the football was tepid. I think there was a sort of anticipation about West Ham United in the summer, that there would be a complete change of gear, a summer reset, and West Ham haven't produced that. They've been stalling, really. There's been flashes of half-decent play, but overall their season hasn't really taken off. There's been no real new manager bounce, has there? No. They've got to deal with a counter-attack here, and one of those very quick, sharp transitions from Bournemouth, with Kluivert leading it, taking it in from the left-hand side and releasing a shot or a pass, and neither of the two really in the end. It bounced off Kilman and was cleared, and now Kudus returning the favour has released Bowen towards the edge of the area. He's closed down by Zabarnyi, and Cook then gets a left-footed shot towards the far corner, hits the top of the crossbar, and it bounces off the top of the woodwork and goes behind and away for a goal kick. But that was counter-attack on counter-attack then. Kluivert at one end very quickly turned into Jared Bowen at the other, and Bowen actually, instead of trying to outpace Cook and Zabarnyi, decided to stop the ball, slow up, give himself a bit of space, did that, arced it towards the far post and rattled the bar.
So intelligent that from Bowen. He kept his position essentially between the two centre-halves really, really nicely. I think he just stayed on side, fed by Kudus, and that little delay where he brought it back rather than the obvious trying to outrun them both. So clever, brilliant little finish as well. Just moved his feet to guide it into the far corner. It's the class we were talking about earlier.
0-0 the score. Ball clipped forward by West Ham into the edge of the penalty area. Housen turns and fires it out. He's still a teenager, Dean Housen, 19 years of age. He got his first goal against Tottenham recently. He was picked up from Juventus. Deep cross from the right by Souček, flicked away by Adam Smith. It's going to be Kudus who gets it. West Ham have had quite a lot of the ball in Bournemouth's defensive third. They have been on the front foot. It's in transition where Bournemouth have looked so dangerous on those breaks. They move so lightning through the thirds when they get the ball from deep. And that's what West Ham have got to be careful of. Bowen dropping deep to pick the ball up, turning away from Housen, who's followed him out into the centre circle, goes out to Alvarez, far side.
Yeah, you were talking before, sorry, we stopped for the counter-attack, but with the West Ham manager and the impact he's had, there hasn't really been one, and there's just a lack of dynamism in this West Ham team to try and get you on the front foot. A lot of the players were here before. As we said, the system hasn't changed that much. They are slow at times.
They did spend 132 million quid in the summer, which is why expectation was raised.
I agree with you.
Sofau heads it down onto Bowen, taking it out of the sky and into the right wing position. He tries to funnel it through to Paquetá, but it's cleared away by Hausen, and then on by Kirkes up to Ouattara, who very quickly sends the ball long, looking to release Evan Nilsson. Kilman is underneath it, watched it all the way, headed it clear. Picked up by Soler now, and he travels up towards the halfway line, just down the side of the centre circle. Then elevates it, clips it into the left channel. Balaga comes racing out of his goal, collects it, and it's with Bournemouth again.
I love a midfielder, as you know, who tries to make impact and make things happen, and he shouldn't be worried about pass completion, but when you've given away 2 or 3 trying to play through balls, you've got to build yourself back up then. That was never on. It's too straight.
Just interested to see what the makeup of that midfield for West Ham produces tonight, because you've got the defensive midfielder in Alvarez, and then you've got 2 players in Souček, in Soler, just a little bit further ahead of them. Bowen has just dropped to the right-hand side for a moment, and Paquetá has gone through the middle. Interesting that actually that happens quite a bit. Actually happened quite a bit under David Moyes, where they would switch and move when he was playing in a forward position, Bowen, and he's picked the ball up now, looking to dictate from deep. He finds Kudus, who's in a number 10 position, moves the ball out wide towards the right. It's across by Sofau in towards the near post. Sabani is there, and he puts it behind, and it's away for a corner kick. That was a relatively good West Ham move.
Well, it was a great spot what you were talking about, the little rotation between Bowen and Paquetá, but ultimately it's about 2 highly intelligent footballers understanding what each other's doing, and those 2 are really bright, difficult to contain when you got 2 players who are playing quickly and understanding of each other's positions. Good move back from West Ham, much better.
Jarrod Bowen, by the way, if he scores tonight, will reach 100 league goals. Here is his corner, in towards the near post. Kilman with the flick. Balaga missed it initially, but grabbed it at the second attempt. And he runs out to the edge of the penalty area, and he will clear. These 2 managers, by the way, Iraola and Lopetegui, born around 10 miles apart in the Basque Country, north of Spain, in a tiny region of Gipuzkoa. It is the smallest province in Spain that also gave birth to Xabi Alonso, Unai Emery, and, more relevant to you, Paco Rabanne.
Wow.
Fashion designer. Something in the water there, I think.
I can't believe you had to explain your Paco Rabanne line.
Well, just in case, you know. It was so tongue-in-cheek, I thought you might not know who he was.
Well, I did have a coach called Paco, but it wasn't Paco Rabanne.
Did you?
Yeah. With Rafa Benitez, who's now at Villa. Do you know what's interesting about this game with the midfield? Kluivert has to drop in at times on the deep midfielder for West Ham, whether it be Alvarez or Soler. Go and attack it.
Wan-Bissaka's taken it out of the sky, moved into a left wing position. He's set up Paquetá on the edge of the penalty area. He tries to sort his feet out, return it to Wan-Bissaka, who has scored 2 goals this season, remarkably. He never usually scores any.
Good that from Semenya, tracking back all the way. That's how you do your job as a wide man. Really good discipline.
Good defending by Antoine Semenya, but it's West Ham who have been on the front foot for the last 10 minutes or so. We've played 20 minutes. It's 0-0 on TalkSport. It's up to the edge of the penalty area, looking for Paquetá. Goes through to Balaga.
Well, they've picked up a lot of loose balls in midfield, because as you said, you've got the 2 ahead of Alvarez, which are occupying Cook and Christie. And Kluivert at times isn't dropping in when you've got to, when you haven't got the ball.
There's also, every time he's got the ball, he hasn't managed to do enough with it, but he's got between both Edison Alvarez and the defender Mavropanos. He's fed Evan Nilsson, who slipped as he's got to the edge of the penalty area. Was there a foul there? The Bournemouth fan thinks that there might have been, but he did just lose his footing. Hausen, who's been terrific, by the way, so far.
He has, hasn't he?
In towards Kluivert, picked up by Christie in the centre of the West Ham half. Christie recycles it out towards the near side, and Smith now with a chance to spread the play wide. He gets it back to Christie. They keep hold of it well here. Everybody in West Ham colours back behind the ball as Bournemouth now to try to come forward. Zabani, Christie on halfway, takes on Kudus and then sends it down the right, looking for Evan Nilsson, who's away from Mavropanos. He's got down the outside of the penalty area. He goes down across the byline into the box. Kilman is there, coming across to nab it. He was never 100% in control of that, Evan Nilsson. I think because he initially slipped, went down, got back up again, and then maybe just asked a little bit too much of himself to continue his run into the box across the byline. But certainly there was a moment there where Mavropanos in particular looked a little bit unsettled.
It was poor from Mavropanos, but Evan Nilsson was in and he should have crossed it. I don't know why he took the extra touch. I know he slipped a little bit, but then he got to the ball, whip it, put it in there. He had people flying in.
Kilman back to Fabianski, and West Ham have the ball once again. Andoni Iraola in a much more secure position than Lopetegui, such is his impact on Bournemouth that the American owner, actually Bill Foley, trying to tie him down to a new long-term contract. They have their eyes set on a European place. Remember, they can go above Manchester City should they win by 3 goals tonight. Ball is with Jared Bowen far side, exchanges passes with Sofao, lovely little flick by Souček, back out to him from Bowen, in towards the near post. Paquetá tried a little bicycle kick which didn't quite come off, and it bounces to Kirkes, and good. Bournemouth will clear, but it was another well-worked move by West Ham.
Really was, good move, yeah. Bowen
Semenyo bounding forward, he's got pressure from both sides. Alvarez could have committed a foul, Soler did commit one, and a yellow card goes his way, and Carlos Soler will be suspended for their next game.
Right decision, nice and strong. Semenyo there. Semenyo going through, using his pace, committing people. Couldn't cope with it.
Well, there's a bit more about him going forward than the other midfielders, Carlos Soler, but the defending there wasn't his strongest suit. He gave away a free kick, and he is going to be missing for their next match, which is against Brighton at home at the weekend. Here is Cook from Christie, back to halfway. Housen takes it forward, stretches into the opposition half, floats the ball out wide to Kirkes, who takes it down, then sends across low into the near post, away by Mavropanos, only as far as Ouattara. Ouattara comes back in, wants to get it to his right foot, shoots, blocked by Alvarez. Alvarez brings it out of defence, looks for an outlet, but within a couple of paces he was the furthest man forward and had to just check to feed Kudus on this near side. Back they go to Soler, he turns it out towards Kudus once again.
Poor that from Ouattara, twice he's come in and hit low daisy cutters into bodies, no conviction in the shot.
Well, he's not a regular goal scorer, but he has just scored a tremendous, or was part of a tremendous turnaround down at Portman Road. He was a big part of that, scored and assisted in that game after coming off the bench. So his confidence is up. Kudus rolls Adam Smith and moves into the Bournemouth half, and then nudges the ball into the path of Wan-Bissaka, who's attacking down the left-hand side for West Ham. His right-footed ball is in towards Paquetá, well watched by Housen. It's headed clear by Cook, but comes back only as far as Alvarez. On to Wan-Bissaka again, further wide onto Kudus. They've got 4 or 5 men in the box here. It's in towards Bowen, who takes it in, tries to turn, slams it goalwards, and it's pushed into the air by Arida Balaga. That was a good effort that from Jared Bowen. Took it in well, turned and span and smashed the ball high above.
Great touch again from Bowen. It was a good move. Smith's got to be careful. He doesn't try and fight Kudus and get too close and too tight to him, because he's going to have real problems if he does that. He's got to be much cuter and much more intelligent with the way he defends against him. Just give yourself a few yards. As he turns, you can commit, but not till then.
It's currently Bournemouth 0, West Ham United 0, and for the latest odds you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can back Bournemouth to win the game at 20-19 on, and you can back West Ham at 23-10. The draw is 11-4. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes 18+, speakgambleaware.org. This is Talk Sport on a Monday night, the home of Monday Night Football, bringing you all of the top commentaries on a Monday night from the Premier League, and actually from the EFL as well on Talk Sport 2. I'll give you an update from the EFL League 2 game, which started at 7:45 tonight, and that game, which is currently ongoing, currently is 0-0. They played 27 minutes in that game. Here is Wan-Bissaka kicking it clear up over the halfway line. It's headed backed by Paquetá, cleared by Zabani, on by Soler, back to Wan-Bissaka, and it's with West Ham deep inside their own half of the field. It's been an engaging 27 minutes, I think.
Yeah. West Ham have had the better of it, that's for sure.
Bournemouth trying to win 4 games in a row in the Premier League for only the second time. It'd be a record equalling run if they manage to do it tonight. Here is Kluivert exchanging passes with Kirkes, just 10 yards outside the box, wide on the left. Ouattara comes infield, floats it towards Semenyo. It wasn't a great ball by Ouattara, and he got a little bit of a frustrated ooh from the crowd inside the Vitality Stadium. Just getting a little bit irate about the fact that West Ham are having more of the encounter here. It goes back to Sofao and then on to Edison Alvarez. In the heart of that midfield. Didn't have a great showing against Wolverhampton Wanderers last week. In fact, he's had an up and down start to the season after what was a really good campaign last year, Edison Alvarez. Here is Christie. Back to Adam Smith. Julian Lopetegui standing on the edge of his technical area. Grey slacks, black top tonight. No coat for him. Hands rammed into his pocket. The former goalkeeper just watching on. As Jared Bowen robs Kirkes of the ball, goes out to the far side. He won the 50-50 and feeds it infield towards Alvarez. The Mexican looks up. There's a bit of space for him to run into here. Decides to feed it to Kudus instead, and then he swipes it on towards the left, collected in the wing position by Wan-Bissaka, who faces up Semenya, gets to the edge of the area, plays it into Kudus once again. So many Bournemouth shirts already back, snapped into position behind the ball and trying to plug the gaps, but Solera's got free. Exchange passes, tries to bend it in the far corner. Did it take a nick? The referee said no, but it missed by about half a yard. It was a good move by West Ham.
Very good. Lot of intricate play there. When they got on the edge of the box, Soler just does a little give and go. Paqueta decides not to hit it on his left, cuts back on his right, tries to set it out to that far corner. He's asking for a corner. And it wasn't. Good again from West Ham. Really good start to the game. That three-man midfield is dominating because Kluivert's drifting out a little bit towards the left rather than coming in and sitting on Alvarez and playing from a central position. It's what you get a lot of the times when you play three midfielders against two midfielders and a number 10.
Yeah.
The 10 has to be a bit better defensively. He's drifting into nice areas when they've got the ball, but when they haven't, it's too easy for the West Ham three.
41% possession for Bournemouth, so 59 for West Ham.
It's actually a position. Sorry, Sam. Just going back to what Aid said before. Tavernier, that's a role he's played a lot because he trusts him more in that role to do the defensive work. He's got that bit more physicality and defensive mindset than Kluivert. Not that I don't like Kluivert. I think he's a terrific player, but he doesn't look particularly switched on to the defensive part of that role at the moment.
Well, when you look at the way they've lined up from this free kick, it's almost 4-4-2 from Bournemouth, isn't it? With Kluivert being as close to Evanilson as you can get.
Yeah, but he's now near Alvarez.
Yeah,
but he's not been near enough, often enough, and it's causing Christie and Cook a problem because they can't come out and press them. They've got to stay in, and means they're on the back foot. Hence the possession.
He's got to be aware of that duty, hasn't he? Otherwise, Bournemouth aren't going to get hold of the ball. And we've played half an hour. It's goalless on TalkSport. 6 shots to West Ham's 8. Only 1 on target from Bournemouth and 2 on target from West Ham United. There usually is goals when these two teams are not only playing each other but just involved in general, because West Ham are so leaky. 28 goals conceded in 15 games.
We haven't
always
had
produce entertainment. Don't say that.
We haven't, no, have we?
And we haven't, no, but don't say it. Don't jinx it.
I've said it now, it's out there.
Here is Kluivert taking the ball down and sending it back into midfield. Forward it goes by Housen. It's cut out by Sofao. On to Paquetá. More encouragement for West Ham United. 0-0 the score. Both teams have hit the woodwork in the game as well here on TalkSport tonight. But it remains 0-0. West Ham have struggled with good teams. They haven't beaten anyone they've played who started the day in the top half of the table, but they have experienced a bit of an upturn in their attack in the last 2 matches in the Premier League. They've recorded 50 shots against Leicester and Wolves combined. Their 25 shots per game so far in December is the highest of any Premier League team. But tonight they have to try and break down the second best home defence in the league.
I like that West Ham have kept swapping. You got Paquetá playing up top now with Bowen on the right. I like that little flexibility in the team. Gives them a little different dimension, keeps the defenders guessing who's going to pop up where.
Well, against the Wolves last Monday, he started down the middle, didn't he?
Yeah.
12 of his starts this season are more familiar role on the right-hand side. Since joining West Ham, only 13% of Bowen's minutes have been as a central striker. Here is Smith into the box for Bournemouth, headed away by Sofao, down by Kudus. Zabarnyi just intervenes and nudges it back before West Ham can develop an attack. Bowen encouraging his team to get out from defence and try and push up to the halfway line as Housen turns it round and comes back again. 0-0, 13 to go before half-time. Christie's made a dart on the inside right channel, wanted the ball earlier, it didn't come his way from Smith.
It was a great run. That's the type of ball you have to take a risk with.
Zabanye on the edge of the penalty area. Semenyo was pointing down the right flank.
There you go.
Asking for the ball. It's been played there now by Smith. Kilman comes across. He takes it out towards the near side, puts it out for a throw-in down by the corner flag, but they've made yardage here, Bournemouth, and they're up inside West Ham's half.
Well, talk about a simple ball over the fullback's head with a runner in behind. Against Kilman and Mavropanos, you're going to get joy. It doesn't even matter if they come across and at least they're running back towards their own goal, and you're gaining territory and you're turning them round. They haven't done that for a while, Bournemouth. That's a good ball.
Semenyo about to catapult the ball into the box from this near side. He's 10 yards from the corner flag, and he approaches the sideline, sends it into the near post. Christie heads it straight behind, and it goes out for a goal kick, and it doesn't really come off the way that Bournemouth had planned. 0-0 Fleetwood, Accrington by the way, and 0-0 here.
I was going to say, that long throw-in, it says to me that one of the coaching staff said, like, this is what we're doing, this is how we set up, this is what we do. They're huge, West Ham. They've dropped off for the long throw-in. All he has to do is get a little give and go, and he's got a free cross in the box or a free run at them. But sometimes players, were talking to Martin Tyler about this earlier in the press room, and sometimes you watch that players and you think, why don't players use their own initiative? Maybe not be obsessed with what they've done all the time on the training pitch. I mean, it's obvious beating back there, and you're free.
That's it now, though. It's the Coltons. That was a foot in the face, wasn't it? I think Bowen just a little bit too high with his foot, straight in the face of Milas Kirkes. It's going to be a free kick. It was an honest attempt to go for the ball, but it did end up having consequences. Here's Semenyo down the right-hand side, played in behind Wan-Bissaka. He's got hold of it. Smith is joining. Into the box he goes, just couldn't take it in. Might have been just a little bit too far behind him there, and he couldn't take it in his stride. Christie tries to keep it in near touchline to stop Gooders from clearing, and it bounces out in the left fullback position for a West Ham United throw. 0-0 the score.
I might be doing him an injustice, but I think Semenyo, when he gets Wan-Bissaka one-on-one, a little bit reluctant to go at him. He's passed it 3 or 4 times, and I'm thinking, go on. I would be reluctant to go past him, don't get me wrong.
Because he's just as fast as Semenyo. Ball was dropping from the sky then. Julian Lopetegui saw it coming out towards the technical area. He eyed it up as one of those, you might control first time and trap it, and then he saw it dropping down at speed and he thought, just get out of the way here. Don't want to make myself look silly here. Ball goes out for a throw-in, 0-0. Be interesting to see what the outcome of tonight's match is, and then what happens from there. West Ham won the ball high up because Dean Housen has put a foot wrong for probably the first time tonight, slid the ball to Bowen, can't capitalise on that, and it's cleared away up towards halfway. Evan Nilsson goes down, he's hurt himself here, fallen awkwardly after Alvarez went in on the challenge. He wants the ball to be put out of play. Chris Kavanagh, as the referee, stopped it, and he's got to get some treatment.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm going to say. I don't get it. I get that I might have hurt his knee or twisted it, but I don't get why we're kicking the ball out anymore for Leslie's head injuries. I mean, they're on the attack. What game of football to win?
Well, he landed awkwardly, didn't he, on his left leg. It was a straight leg that he came down on. Looked a little bit awkward.
Yeah, but where's the line then? If you kick it out every time someone's...
It's just if you whinge the most. By the way, we didn't talk about what could have been a magic moment yesterday. That amazing performance, Oscar-winning performance by Carl Walker.
I'm surprised at him.
Could have talked about that for hours.
I was surprised at him. I hate that more than anything. He had a better than Diaz moment, didn't he?
Oh, it was poor.
It was really poor.
We were there.
Do you know what?
Yesterday. I was trying to say to Crook. I mean, that is embarrassing.
I think it's more embarrassing when the player that does it is a dad. No, I mean that because I'm a dad, and I wouldn't. All right, your mum and dad might joke or have a little tell you off, and your brother, your mates will take the mickey out of you. But your kids, don't let your kids see you do that.
It's just not a great look at all, is it?
No, but when you've got kids, you set an example.
Yeah. But I mean, you've got to remember that these guys are role models to kids, whether they're their own kids or just supporters.
Yeah, but you don't see other people's kids every day, do you? You see your own.
Did you get that picture of Adrian earlier on where he sent it
in the hospital bed?
Good news, Carl Walker is okay, and it was a picture of Carl in the hospital bed. Yeah.
No, I don't like to see any player do that, and we have seen a few do it. We see a few do it most weekends, but it's a pet hate of mine. It's never something I do. Try and stitch someone up.
Bournemouth 0, West Ham United 0. 8 minutes to go before half-time. You're listening to TalkSport. We're back underway. Evan Nilsson's had his treatment and wants to come back on.
That's good.
At the moment, there were 10 players, Bournemouth, though, as West Ham have the ball on the halfway line. They take it through the centre circle. Floodlights burning brightly on the green turf. A few scuffs and scratches on it, but nothing more than that. It's almost perfectly manicured. And Evan Nilsson comes travelling back onto the pitch as the ball is elevated down the right side, looking for the run of Bowen. It's cut out by Dango Ouattara, and a poor clearance by him. And Bournemouth actually have just been a little bit off the pace compared to what I've seen them at home this season.
He struggled a bit. He tracked the run nicely with Ouattara, but he struggles with the ball a little bit tonight. Well, he has tonight. He's looking a little bit nervy when he's on it.
West Ham just going through the repertoire of tricks with Soler and Paquetá, who are more flair-based players than maybe what they've had in that midfield area this season. Here's Kirkes, though, winning it after Kluivert did good work further up the field. It goes back towards the right and Ouattara, then Housen plays it across towards Zabarnyi, and Bournemouth continue to travel forward. Good ball into Christie. He's got space. He pops it out wide in towards Semenyo. Semenyo faces up Wan-Bissaka, runs to the edge of the penalty area, goes on the outside, then stops the ball, then comes back in. It's that hesitancy again. Didn't want to get the cross in, and then he goes over and shuts down Kudus and goes out for a goal kick.
Do you know what? There, to be fair to him, he had him one-on-one and he had a go. I thought, even though Wan-Bissaka recovered, he should have crossed it. Because if you cross it, you might get the deflection, you might get the corner.
Why did he check back again?
I think because he could see that maybe he was going to get there for the tackle, but it doesn't matter. Just keep committing him.
Donny Areola looking a little bit
peeved.
Yeah, just agitated, I think, on the touchline. He doesn't look particularly comfortable. I don't think he's pleased with what he's seen in the opening 39 minutes of this game. 0-0 the score. Here is Adam Smith back to his goalkeeper, away to our left-hand side. You're listening to Bournemouth 0, West Ham United 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. Mavropanos has it inside his own half. Hold on a second, the referee has decided that's a free kick on Kudus. It happened about 15 minutes ago, but he's just blown the whistle.
He might be even thinking of bringing another midfielder on, half-time.
Well, he's got David Brooks and Tyler Adams.
Yeah, you could put Kluivert out wide. Because Ouattara struggled a little bit. Maybe that's a bit hard.
The only issue, I suppose, would be if your criticism of Kluivert holds, would he do the defensive work from that left-hand side that they need?
Well, it wouldn't be. It's a good point. It wouldn't be as needed when you've got three central midfielders in the middle who are more capable of.
Christie picked the ball up just short of the centre circle, didn't release it with the kind of precision that Bournemouth required there. That would have been a quick, fast counter-attack again, but he just didn't get his distribution right, and West Ham have it back inside their own half.
I blame us. We've eulogised too much about Bournemouth in the first half. I blame you and Aid.
I blame you because you started saying that we haven't had a 0-0.
Well, we won't. Don't worry. It's not going to be 0-0 this.
So foul over on the far side. There's a foul by Cook on himself. He's fallen over. The ball's sent wide towards Souček, and he sends it in towards the moon and back again. It drops inside the left wing position. Wan-Bissaka takes over, recycles it into the box. Housen misses it, comes back to Souček, bobbles it across the face of goal. How did that not go in? It's deflected behind and away for a corner.
Well, Wan-Bissaka's causing Semenyo problems with his willingness to run forward. He does well, Wan-Bissaka. He decides he'll go on his left foot, not a problem. Puts a hell of a good ball in. Falls to Souček. That's a good block from Ouattara. Throws himself in front of Souček as he hits the volley. Does enough.
Julian Lopetegui can't believe it, bending backwards and screaming in frustration as the ball comes in towards the near post, flicked away by Christie. Good strong header by him, met by Kudus under pressure from Kluivert, won by Wan-Bissaka, who comes back down the left hand side. 2:42 on the clock now. Wan-Bissaka has slipped over. Here is Soler into the box, headed away. Kirkes did well, but it wasn't a great ball. It goes all the way back to Fabianski, and then Kluivert tangles with Sofal, goes down. The referee wants a word with Sofal. He wants a word with Kluivert as well. Tells him to get up. The West Ham fans stand on the far side and give him a bit of a reaction to that too. Semenyo guides it back into the path of Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson's on the floor, but he still emerges with the ball. He's been pulled by Kilman. And it's a free kick to Bournemouth, and it's getting a bit fractious as we get towards half-time on Talk Sport.
Yeah, I think he'll want to get them in, this Bournemouth team. Just try and restructure them a little bit, give them a bit more control in the game.
Forward it goes by Zabarnyi into the right corner, headed away by Wan-Bissaka, picked up now by Alvarez, who moves up towards the edge of the centre circle. He chops back in on his right foot, sends it wide. Bowen's got it now. He looks up, out goes Ouattara to try and shut him down. It goes back infield towards Mavropanos, and it's clipped high into the air. Kirkes will watch it, and it'll go all the way back to Arrizabalaga, and it's still Bournemouth 0, West Ham United 0.
These are the type of games where if you had a holding midfielder of real top quality, they'd be on it all game. There's just so much space in there for West Ham to just keep getting on it off the back players. Should be screaming at them, just keep giving it me, keep giving it me. You don't want long punch forward from your centre half. You don't need to do that. He's there all the time.
Here is Mavropanos striding forward with the ball at his feet. Sends it on towards the right, and Bowen now just dribbles towards the edge of the penalty area, looks to feed Mavropanos, comes back to Bowen then pokes it forward, but Christie gets hold of it, and Mavropanos has now got to get back here because they're slightly misshapen, and it's well travelled with Christie out to Ouattara. He's got Evan Nilsson in the centre, he's looking for him, he couldn't find him, but Evan Nilsson has just got enough of a touch that he's actually guided it to Semenyo inadvertently. He runs at Wan-Bissaka, gets to the edge of the area, left-footed shot, might bounce for Ouattara, he's smuggled goalwards, and it's a brilliant save by Fabianski down at the foot of the post, who manages to shovel it behind and out for a corner. Good Bournemouth improvisation after the ball flicked off the heel of Evan Nilsson. It was a lucky ricochet that guided the ball towards Dango Ouattara, and getting down to push the ball wide with his feet that was sprawling to his left as he went to his right. Fabianski saves the day.
Much better from Semenyo. Driving inwards, committing people, getting his shot off, deflected into the path of Ouattara. He's got to score.
2 minutes of added time. Here's the corner into the near post, goes all the way through towards Christie, who strikes it. It's blocked by Max Kilman, who didn't have to do much to get in the way of that. Switched again by Smith out to the far side. Confirmation of that 2 minutes of added time. Smith lollops it back in, Cook lollops it back in. Smith and Kudus go up. Oh, that's a foul by Smith. What was he doing? He's dragging his shirt. It was unnecessary.
Don't need to.
He's given away a free. They were pinned in there.
He's worried about him. He's so worried about him. I understand it because he's such a good player, but just sit off him. Wait, just patience. Get your little foot in between, through his legs, whatever it is.
Arsenal Crystal Palace on Wednesday night, and Southampton Liverpool. The Carabao Cup quarter-finals are only here on Talk Sport, and on Thursday night Tottenham against Manchester United. Saturday, Aston Villa against Manchester City, and Portsmouth commentary are our 12:30 games. We're round the grounds with Adrian. Ipswich Newcastle is our commentary from 3 o'clock on Talk Sport 2, and the Sunday session comes from Tottenham Liverpool. We've got Manchester United Bournemouth, Everton Chelsea, EFL games for you as well, and Boxing Day 10 live commentaries, 8 from the Premier League, 2 from the Championship. Ball out of play on the far side. The Bournemouth fans not happy about it. They're kicking right off. It's gone out for a throw which Sofal will take. He will try to launch this one in. Oh, that was a foul throw, wasn't it? He sent it into the near post and then crosses the ball. It's flicked away by Housen, and it goes out into the Vitality stand opposite us.
See how they did the 2v1 there, because they saw how deep Bournemouth had got. That's what I'm talking about.
Here is Paquetá in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. He's punched away by Arrizabalaga. Comes back out to Evan Nilsson, who then gets it to Cook. It's flicked by Kluivert, and Ouattara is trying to escape, but Alvarez read the danger, came across very quickly, covered the ground, and stopped the ball out to the far side. The throw-in is given by Richard West to Bournemouth. He should have done that a few moments ago. the assistant on the far side, and it gets an ironic cheer as we go in at the break. Now, Bournemouth can go level on points with the champions Manchester City with a victory here, but it's appearing harder to come by than maybe they would have thought against an inconsistent West Ham. Both teams have hit the woodwork. Both goalkeepers have had to make saves. West Ham probably have had the better of it, but it's 0-0 at half-time. We love Mondays on Talk Sport, and so usually to West Ham United. They've won 9 of their past 10 league fixtures on a Monday. The exception was a 3-1 defeat at Arsenal on Boxing Day 2022. What's it like playing on a Monday night? What's it like when everyone else has played the weekend and you've had that usual work day free?
You just get used to the different, you kind of prep for it days before. It actually gives you a nice weekend sometimes just to spend some time with the kids. You'll train, and then as long as you're not travelling. But I think my first ever start for Liverpool was a Monday night game at home to Aston Villa.
Well, the last Premier League meeting between these two was a 1-1 draw at the London Stadium in February. Dominic Solanke gave Bournemouth a very early lead in that game. You might remember it was because of a mistake on his debut by Calvin Phillips before James Ward-Prowse equalised from the penalty spot. And Bournemouth's record against West Ham has been particularly poor, and they're on the back foot again here with Bowen into the penalty area, but it's just betwixt and between Paquetá and Kudus, and then as Bournemouth look to break, Cook over-hits his ball to Evan-Nilsson. It goes all the way through to Fabianski. No changes at the break, so Bournemouth in black and red striped jerseys with black shorts and black socks, now attacking the Steve Fletcher stand away to our left. They've got Arribalaga in goal, Smith, Zabarnyi, Housen and Kirkes as the back four, Christie and Cook holding in midfield with Kleiber in the 10 behind Semenyo, Ouattara and Evan-Nilsson, who's been leading the line. Christie's won the ball from Kudus, who's in the West Ham United lineup. I'll go through that in just a second, but they're in possession here over on the right hand side and looking assertive, Bournemouth. They play it infield, Semenyo to Christie, and then Kirkes running up on the left. He feeds Ouattara. He should have pushed it in front of him, but Ouattara comes back in right-footed and tries to curl it into the far corner. Took a little flick and goes behind and out for a corner over on the far side. Fabianski is the West Ham goalkeeper. Sofal, Mavropanos, Kilman and Wan-Bissaka the back four. Souček and Alvarez with Soler just a little bit further on in midfield, and then it's Kudus and Paquetá flanking Bowen, although there's been quite a bit of rotation amongst those front three, and really Alvarez is the one who's patrolling in front of the back four, and the other two midfielders have got licence to go. 0-0.
It was nice and decisive that, actually, from Ouattara. I gave him a bit of criticism first half. He was nice and positive there. Took a little deflection off Sufal.
Cook with a low ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. Kleiber will strike it right-footed towards the top corner. It was another well-worked set-piece routine. And Kleiber from the edge of the box, just inside the D, tries to curl it into the top corner, but Fabianski was alert to it.
It was a brilliant set play, and I like that thinking outside the box against such a powerful aerial team as West Ham. He just didn't get it out of his feet enough. He still got a decent enough bend on it and strike on it, but not enough. Just got it stuck under his feet on the edge of that box, but nice and clever.
A good opportunity for the home team, but it remains 0-0 on Talk Sport. Bournemouth have got a very young side, especially at the back. Zabarnyi 22, Kirkes is 21, Housen is 19. The only one bringing up the average age is Adam Smith, and they do need his experience and leadership and nous to balance what is a very inexperienced back line, although some of the performances from Housen this season, including that first half, sort of belied the years. I know that you and Adrian were talking about that at half time. Here is Cook just left of the centre circle. He motors into the West Ham half. He feeds Semenyo, who's come out to this left-hand side. Kirkes has gone with him. He's bounded into the box. His rose shot towards the near post is saved by Fabianski. He didn't get the venom that was required to take it beyond the goalkeeper behind that shot. But the burst of pace to come infield from the left-hand side was impressive.
It was, and it was positive. Much better. Really decisive movement from him, and I want to beat Sufal. I want to get my shot off. He just didn't hit it crisply enough, dragged it a little bit along the floor.
Here is Paquetá, flicks it forward up towards the halfway line, cut out by Kudus, and he gets there. Interestingly, I think Semenyo and Ouattara have flipped wings in this second half. Semenyo has come out to his left-hand side, Ouattara out on the right. We'll see how it develops as the game goes on. Might just be a brief change. Here is Paquetá being tracked by Kirkes. In fact, he's almost been stalked by Kirkes. He couldn't get away from him, and he did well, the Hungarian defender. Ball into the night sky, drops in the centre circle, Zabarnyi forward. Underneath it was Souček, forward by Ouattara. What a ball into Kluivert, controlled by Evanilson. Back to Kluivert again, 10 yards back from the edge of the area. Now out to Semenyo, who comes in on his right foot, tries to twist and turn under pressure from Sofau. He's still got hold of it despite losing his footing. Looks for a give and go with Evanilson, comes back to Christie, and it's saved by the goalkeeper Fabianski, who stuck up a big right hand. I think it come off his palm really more than anything else, and flicked behind and away for another corner. It's a bright start to the second half by Bournemouth.
Much better by Bournemouth. It was much more patient. I do think that Semenyo could have actually beaten Sofau on the left side. There's loads of space to go around the outside that time, and he just followed him into the bodies, made it difficult to get any space in the central areas there, but still a decent strike from Christie.
Still goalless on TalkSport. We nearly played 5 minutes of the second half. Ball flicked into the near post, high into the area it goes. It drops inside the 6-yard box. Semenyo can't get on the end of it. Away by Paquetá, and it's mopped up by Kepa Arrizabalaga just short of the halfway line. He hoists it high into the air, flicked on by Ouattara. Evanilson is chasing, but Fabianski is quickest off his line, comes and gobbles that up before the edge of the area, and he then clears into the air again. Kirkes was pushed in the back by Kudus. It's going to be a free kick. And it's Bournemouth 0, West Ham 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports, and don't forget that you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like Bournemouth versus West Ham, live right now. Search Now Sports. Adam Smith on halfway, combines with Semenyo, and then continues his run down the right side. Got a chance to cross here. It's a deep one. Fabianski's underneath it, but it's going to float over the top and land on top of the net and go behind and away for a goal kick away to our left.
Yeah, good little bit of interplay there. Seeing Smith get down the outside. Poor cross from him in the end. Looks like Semenyo's back on that right hand side. It was only temporary, that swap.
Well, 26% of all Bournemouth's Premier League minutes this season have been played by players aged 22 or under. There is a youthfulness about them, there is an exuberance about them, and after what was a West Ham United first half, it's certainly been a Bournemouth start to the second half. Forward by Housen, out towards the near side. Kirkes looks up, Cook drops in to offer him a pass, but it goes back to Housen instead. Zabarnyi makes an angle for him deep inside the Bournemouth half of the field. It goes wide towards the right. Smith, Christie, now Semenyo. He's got a tight gap to run through, and Wan-Bissaka is on him like a rash.
Good defending. Good battle that.
It's been going on all night, hasn't it? Here is Christie in midfield. He's a good footballer, Ryan Christie. He's good on the ball. Lost out in midfield though. Smith had come in from right back and tussled with Kudus, and the ball spilt out to the far touchline where Kudus was waiting for it.
I don't know if it's a deliberate thing. I think it must be from the manager encouraging Wan-Bissaka to get past Kudus a lot of the times and make some runs past him. I think he should leave him to leave that space for him to run into more often.
Poor kick out by Fabianski because he was under pressure from Evanilson. Semenyo has worked it back wide towards the right, and Christie now has taken it on, helped it in towards Kluivert. A little flick, but again that's where it needs to be decisive and sharp, not sort of hopeful, and that was hopeful from Kluivert, and it's cleared away and away for a throw-in. But it comes back in from Zabarnyi into the box, headed away by Alvarez. Back by Zabarnyi towards Smith. Zabarnyi with his gloves on and his short sleeve shirt clips it forward down the channel, away by Kilman, and then West Ham look to try and knit together a passage of play which will get them up the pitch, and they haven't got up the pitch much in this second half. Dan.
Brilliant take. Kilman playing a long ball into Bowen's chest there, and he took it so beautifully.
Send it back into Souček, who plays an aimless pass into the right wing position, cleared by Arrizabalaga. Up goes Kluivert. Didn't really have the right to get on the end of that, and then Alvarez tries to clear, can't, goes out for a throw into Bournemouth, and they have it near touchline. It remains 0-0.
It's scrappy. What a ball that is.
Mate, honestly, he's going to be worth a lot of cash, that
He already is.
Housen. Down the right side, Semenyo gets towards the edge of the penalty area. Plays it back to Smith and then on to Christie. Christie centrally finds Cook, gets it back to Christie. Christie with a shot, but it bubbled up in front of him. And he smacked it over the top of the crossbar. But there's a little bit more vibrancy about Bournemouth in this second half, so much so that I think West Ham are going to react by putting Nicholas Füllkrug on at the beginning of this second half. It's been a short start to the second 45. 10 minutes have been played.
I think he's going to bring Füllkrug on and put Paquetá in the middle of the park. I think it'll be Souček or Soler.
Be interesting to see how that affects the way that West Ham play.
I think it'll benefit them
because he'll get the ball quicker, hold it up, and then they can use him as a platform to build.
Well, and also you've got a bit more of an attacking, one extra attacker on the pitch, really, because they've got three central midfielders, and you wouldn't call any of them attacking.
Yeah, here is Smith into Cook. Quickly releases it into Evanilson. Lovely flick to Clyburn. Space for Ouattara on the left-hand side. Ouattara gets it back towards Semenyo, who strikes. It's blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box by Kilman and funneled behind and away for a corner. It was a brilliant move by Bournemouth. So quick, so fast. They couldn't recover West Ham quick enough. Cook's ball forward, flicked by Evanilson. Found its pass to Cliver, who sent it wide. Ouattara then switched it out to Semenyo, came onto it.
Brilliant.
And it was blocked by Kilman.
Brilliant block from Kilman. I actually don't think they used the extra man very well there, Bournemouth. Cliver played it too early to Semenyo. Should have waited. They had one over just to commit him. Soler's coming off. He's been average tonight. I've seen him play much better than this.
Füllkrug coming on. They're changing out a corner. It doesn't happen very often, but when you're bringing on Nicholas Füllkrug, who's a brilliant header of the ball, you might as well get him in to defend this set piece. And on he goes. He made an impact when he came off the bench against Leicester, Nicholas Füllkrug. I must admit, I was excited to see him when he came in, and apparently he is fully fit now, Nicholas Füllkrug, according to Julian Lopetegui. Here comes the corner from the far side, which Christie's going to take for Bournemouth. It's right into the central area of the 6-yard box, away by Kilman, back to Cook, back in it goes with Christie, who flips the ball towards the far post, and the header from Zabani is wide. He missed the target there.
Füllkrug just did enough, didn't he, just to put him off a little bit. I think it was him on the back post. Decent ball back in from this right hand side from Christie. Should do better, really. Yeah, just jumps in front of him, doesn't he?
Well, it'll be interesting to see when Andoni Iraola decides to make a switch, because his substitutes usually make an impact. Here's Ouattara onto Christie, looking for Semenyo. Wan-Bissaka just about got there. He read that, intercepted brilliantly, and then tried to get them on the front foot with Alvarez, who miscontrolled it, had to go backwards rather than forwards, and West Ham have it 10 yards inside their own half. Away by Smith as it was sent forward by Kilman. And Mavropanos gets it back to his goalkeeper. 0-0. Just about to hit the hour mark on TalkSport. The Bournemouth fans find their voice again inside this stadium, which Bill Foley wants to host European football next season. He wants them to get up into, he said, maybe nick 8th or 9th, and you never know, that might be enough depending on what happens. But if they were to be victorious tonight, they would jump up into the top 6 of the table. And the way the table stands at this moment, it's pretty reading for Bournemouth supporters. They'll be 6, 2 points behind Manchester City. Win here tonight, they'll go level on points with them. If they won by 3 goals to 0, they'd go above them. West Ham would love a couple of points too and get closer to Manchester United. They're 3 points behind them, 13th Manchester United, 14th West Ham. They want a free kick here, Bournemouth, for a foul on Ouattara, which isn't forthcoming from Chris Kavanagh. And the ball is loose in the centre circle, and Christie is taking control. It's back with Arriba Balaga.
I actually don't think it would be a bad point for West Ham. I know the fans expect more, but
it'd be a good point.
Yeah, coming here, they were the better team in the first half. Not so much yet in the second, but first half they were a better team, and this is not an easy place to come.
The results against the bigger teams tell you that so far this season. Cook hassles Kudus out of the ball. It goes out towards this near side. Good defensive midfield work by Lewis Cook, who is an England international from years gone by. So far to take the throw-in on this near side. Is he going to go long again? Looks like he is. He's stepped back off the asphalt and then back into the edge of the pitch. It's headed down by Ouattara, back to Sofao. He's then sent it long to the far edge of the penalty area where it's kept alive by Paquetá, held up by Fulkrug, and then back by Kilman to Sofao, whose left-footed delivery is angled towards Fulkrug, who tries the acrobatic hoist over his shoulder.
Do you know what though, even that cross in there was a bit of a loopy left foot in-swinger from Sofao, but if you notice when the centre-half, I think it's Zabrani, tries to go through Fulkrug, and if the strength just stops him, managed to try his overhead kick. I know it was a bit ambitious, but the physicality.
And that's the difference in option that he gives you.
Yeah.
Played well at the European Championships.
He did, yeah.
In the summer, which was what lent West Ham to make a punt for him. It did cost quite a bit, and he is getting on in age, 31 years of age now. He's had Achilles and calf issues, which have robbed him of a solid start at West Ham. West Ham almost robbed the ball from Christie, who's ended up on a heap on the halfway line because he wasn't switched on. It's bounced back for Zabarnyi, who's trying to release Semenyo. And Wan-Bissaka has stood firm again. He's done well tonight, Wan-Bissaka.
He didn't just stand firm, he read it. He anticipated and stepped into the line of the ball really well.
He's on the attack now, and he plays it out towards the left-hand side. Paquetá onto Bowen. Bowen miskicks it. And it's dribbled back towards Rida Balaga.
It's not like him. Good move. Decent move that from West Ham.
We just had a couple of those actually tonight, haven't we? We've had good moves from Bournemouth, good moves from West Ham, but no one's applied the finish.
Correct.
Might get that now though, because Sofao has misread that ball. Cross field, it's come through to Ouattara, who sent it back towards the other side of the penalty area, overhit it, and Semenyo has to chase outside the box to retrieve it. Smith joins him in the attack. His cross is deep. Ouattara coming in far post, flicked behind the way by Mavropanos. It's a corner to Bournemouth.
It's a good cross actually.
The second one.
Yeah, I think it looks like he's done off, he's just stretching something there, Semenyo, or he's a little bit tired, but even then, even though he crossed in, it was a decent cross. He had the opportunity to go at Wan-Bissaka and again refused it.
What's on the agenda here from this corner kick? They've had so many well choreographed patterns already tonight. Cook in towards the near post, flicked away, comes back to Christie, far edge of the area, recycles it, but he's a poor ball in, and now a chance for Kudus to escape, and he does so at rapid speed, but he's got black and red shirts getting back faster than any white ones are joining him, and they're rushing around him like ladybirds, and Kudus can't get away from Adam Smith, and now Semenyo threatening to get away from Alvarez, draws a yellow card for Alvarez, and it's going to be a free kick to Bournemouth.
He doesn't need, do you know why he doesn't need to do it? Because if he doesn't go so tight, he can't spin him. It's just really ill discipline there from Alvarez. If you just give yourself 5 yards, as he takes his touch, you can go with him, win it off him, but he's flown in 100 miles an hour. Poor defending.
It'll be interesting to see what Julian Lopetegui does next. Is that a yellow card for Lopetegui?
Yeah.
On the near side. He was arguing with the
J-Lo's got a yellow.
Referee. Cards don't cost a thing.
I like it. Sharp.
Here is Rida Balaga. The ball's crept up over the halfway line. And rather athletic jump from Cliver. Ended on his back side, and then Alvarez and Cook have a tangle, and the ball spills into midfield with Kudus for West Ham United in white shirts and Clarence shorts, attacking the goal away to our right in this second half. Alvarez is dropped in between the two centre halves, finds Mavropanos.
Missed kick.
It comes straight through to Smith. He didn't know what was going on. In fact, he lost the ball, then readjusted. Semenyo's kicked it straight to Paquetá. He's then kicked it straight to Zabarnyi, and now there's a chance of 3-on-3 as Bournemouth turn the ball over and then run towards the West Ham goal. It's picked up here by Ouattara, who runs into Mavropanos, who stood firm there, and he looked massive actually as he stood up towards Ouattara. And then it goes up to Fulkrug, who held it up well, but then Bowen lost out to Zabarnyi, and now Bournemouth have it once again. There's two on this near side attacking the goal away to our left. Offside flag is up though. And it's going to be a free kick to West Ham, and there's an opportunity for Zabarnyi to get a bit of treatment. after colliding with Fulkrug. See, now Fulkrug has only been on the pitch for about 10 minutes, maybe not even that, and he has, maybe this is not the right phrase, but he has now softened up Zabarnyi.
Yeah. He actually hurt himself tackling Bowen. But yeah, you're right.
But beforehand, in the penalty area, he's just sort of...
But even then, he had to... Great touch, wasn't it, from Fulkrug?
Yeah.
Just to keep the ball and entice the centre-half in.
Well, they're going to give the ball back to Fabianski here, and he's going to be able to clear. But this is a pivotal moment in the game, I think, because West Ham have made their change.
Well, I think Bournemouth need to make some changes and freshen it up. They're just a little bit bitty tonight. Not much cohesion. There's some moments. Forward players not been particularly decisive in their play at times. I think Evan Nielsen's had his... I've seen him 3 times this season. It's the worst I've seen him.
I think we're going to see Tyler Adams and David Brooks in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
We might see Enis Unal at one point as well, another one who came off the bench and really influenced change at Portman Road. And that's the other thing that you've got to give Andoni Iraola credit for. You know, his substitutes usually spell danger. Bournemouth subs are amongst the most productive in the land. They've scored 7 goals from players off the bench this season. No one else can touch that in terms of statistically. Here is Alvarez. Back to Mavropanos. He's running into a bit of a cul-de-sac here and he's going to lose the ball. Housen managed to slide in for a challenge and then gets up to head the ball away. Goes back to Rida Balaga. Cook again, brilliant in the base of that midfield. Here is Christie from deep, trying to orchestrate play. Oh, it's a poor ball out towards the far side. It was behind Semenyo, but too far in front of Smith, and West Ham have gobbled it up, and Kudus is running into the central area. He looks back, tries to feed it back to Alvarez, and then it goes back out onto this near side, and Sofao has it. He's chased by Ouattara into Bowen, tries to flick it back to Alvarez, who's being pursued by Justin Kluivert, but it's Sofao who emerges with possession, sends it wide onto Bowen, into the penalty area, right-footed ball, flicks off the defender, and then Smith takes no chances and heads it behind with a little stooping, prodded header behind the post and out for a corner kick.
Good move from West Ham. Sofao getting forward from right back, stayed in control of the ball while he was running with it, played a little cute ball into Bowen, got his cross in and header at the back post from Smith just to make sure, be safe, take it out.
Bowen's cross actually I think was aimed low towards Fulkrug, but Housen slid in, deflected the ball high up into the air. Here is the corner towards the penalty spot, headed away by Christie ahead of Bowen. The ball drops and it's controlled on the chest by Evan Nielsen, and then he falls over.
Oh, it wasn't
from Paquetá. I'm not sure that was a foul. The referee has got him out of jail there, because otherwise he's given the ball away on the edge of his own penalty area.
Well, he maybe just touched him, but it wasn't enough to make him go down. Got away with it, yeah, you're right.
Substitution for the Cherries with Las Vegas.
On comes Semenyo, and on comes...
Surprised at that.
Adams. Brooks is the other one who's coming on, as we mentioned, and the other change is going to be Adam Smith.
Adam Smith.
Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder who's going to go over to right back then. Is that going to be Ouattara going to right back? No. Cook is having a word to see what's happening next. I don't think Tyler Adams is going to go to right back. Maybe Cook will go over and play at right back. He puts the captain's armband on and then trots over to that side. And Smith is replaced by Adams, who'll go into the middle of the park. So Cook will play on the right-hand side. And Adams will go into the centre of midfield alongside Christie. And now we've got Brooks playing on the right with Ouattara on the left and Evan Nielsen and Kluivert still in the centre. Interesting.
Yeah.
Not what you saw coming?
No, it wasn't actually. I'm surprised Semenyo's come off, although maybe, I mean, he does bring him up quite a bit actually, doesn't he? He's in the last 90 minutes that often. So maybe his fitness low, maybe he's a little bit leggy. Changing the right back didn't seem to be a big problem down there, although he's been chasing Kudus all evening, so...
Our little mate Jesus Perez is here tonight, the USA assistant coach. Good lad. He's been watching Tyler Adams. Fleetwood 1, Accrington 1, the latest in League 2. Here on the far side, the ball is with Kudus, who smacks it against Cook, and and then Cook straight in on Wan-Bissaka over on the far side to show that he means business playing in that right full-back row. As West Ham come forward with Kudus, who rolls past Brooks too easily. Cook is there again, and then Brooks sends it forward, but Kluivert had already gone, and he's given the ball away to Alvarez, who's hit it. It's taken a deflection. It's going to be a corner, that. Bournemouth 0, West Ham 0. The latest odds are available at Ladbrokes, but right now you can back Bournemouth to win at 17-10, West Ham 7-2. The draw is 21-20. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18+, begambleaware.org.
They've done well, West Ham, to recover and compose themselves in this second half. I thought at one point Bournemouth looked like they were getting on top, and they've just started to ease their way back in and gain a little bit of territory again, causing Bournemouth some problems.
Here is the corner taken on the far side by Lucas Paquetá in towards Kilman. The header from Mavropanos is well wide. He got up actually behind Kilman, headed the ball towards goal. It went wide of the upright away to our right hand side. It's being tussled with by Tyler Adams. Then it went well wide of Kepa Arrizabalaga's goal. Tomorrow morning, by the way, Jeff Stelling, Ali McCoy's back together from 6 a.m. I was listening to them this morning. And if you fancy something different in your morning commute, there's always Chris Evans at breakfast on Virgin Radio every weekday from 6:30, and you can listen to that on DAB Digital Radio. Download the app at Virgin Radio. Actually, if you've got the TalkSport app, you can flick through and listen to it as well.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Good. Here is Kirkesh.
Nice on the old dog walk.
Sending the ball round the corner for Ouattara to chase was Christie, but the force so foul into swiping the ball out for a throw-in down by the corner flag away to our left. And it's an even Steven game, this. And I just wonder if one goal will settle it. Kluivert in towards the far post, flicked away by the West Ham defence, which has been a little bit sturdier tonight. When you think about how many goals they've conceded this season, they actually have looked relatively solid. Here is Brooks over on the far side into Christie. Christie trying to send the ball down the right for Evan Nilsson into the penalty area. Left-footed shot, cuts back in, and it was blocked by Kilman. And actually, I think he showed too much of it to Kilman.
It was brilliant from Christie and Brooks, nice and calm, nice and patient, get the ball into Evan Nilsson, and then again, no conviction, no quality there, lashed at it, Kilman got the block.
And that's the story of the night, actually, isn't it? The created chances, no finish. Lovely into Kudus round the corner. Zabani with a tackle. What a superb, absolutely superb. He flew into that block, and he had to. And as the ball came down from Fulkrug, who did really well actually, held the ball up after it was spilt, got it in and played it out towards the left-hand side, and Kudus couldn't get away because Zabani was there. Here is David Brooks at the other end for Bournemouth, who are now on the attack. Somerville preparing to enter the fray. Ball collected by Kluivert. Back out wide, it's gone too far for Kirkes. Down by the corner flag, tussling with Sofau. Throw into Bournemouth, you're about to say.
Great ball from Fulkrug. Drilled it into Kudos, took a nice touch, brilliant tackle, wasn't it? Great bit of play.
I actually think it's been quite an entertaining game.
It's been intriguing.
Here is Adams down the left, feeding Kirkes, left-footed towards the far post. It's over the head of Ouattara. Comes out the other side, recycled by Cook. The deflection takes it behind. It's a corner. This is TalkSport. It's Bournemouth 0, West Ham United 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps 120,000 people every day. Here's the corner, far side, to be taken by Ryan Christie, the Scotland international. Going to make a change in just a second, West Ham. Just looking to see who's going to come on. I think it's Skulls in towards the near post, pushed away by Fabianski from Evan Nilsson's flick on. Brilliant. Fabianski getting there after, it was good reactions actually from the flick of the near post from Evan Nilsson.
Keeper did well. Good ball in from Christie.
Skulls and Somerville about to come on for West Ham. Here's the corner in towards the middle of the 6-yard box. So far away. Down by Tyler Adams and back into Brooks. Brooks on the edge of the area trying to get it onto his left foot to get a shot away.
No.
Does that, but it's too high. And it's over.
It's too high with it, and he's leaning back. You're not set to do that. It's just a bit, come on a sub. He obviously wants to make an impact, but he wasn't set.
Scars may be coming on at left back here, and I think he'll replace Sofau. That means that Wan-Bissaka will go to right back. Somerville, it'll be interesting to see who he comes on for. They want to get the change done now. Lopetegui trying to indicate to the referee that he wants the change. He wants it done quickly, so foul coming off quickly. The other one coming off is Edison Alvarez. So Paquetá will go deeper and Somerville will go into the front line. Bowen will go behind Fulkrug, will he? And Somerville will come out to the left and Kudus out to the right. Interesting, we'll see what happens. They're having a conflab on the near touch line. But certainly Sofa's gone back onto the pitch to have a word with Wan-Bissaka. Hold on, is he trying to pass on the instructions, or is it Wan-Bissaka who's going to come off? Wan-Bissaka has now come over to the near touchline to get instructions. What is going on here? This is ridiculous. Kudus has come off and on comes Somerville. Scarles has come off, but who else has come off?
Nobody yet. I think it's going to be Soufal, but
God knows what's going on. I'm trying to count how many players are on the pitch. I think there is 10 outfield players there, so someone has been replaced. Wan-Bissaka has gone to right midfield. Paquetá, Souček.
Yeah, Kudus has come off.
It was Kudus who come off, yeah.
And Alvarez.
Yeah. So now we've got a back three, have we, for West Ham? With Wan-Bissaka playing as the right wing back.
Yeah, it looks that way.
It took a very long time over that change and they weren't very clear with it. And eventually we've got our full complement again. And Fulkrug is the lone striker. 5-4-1. Interesting. Let's see what happens. Is that a negative change from Lopetegui?
We'll soon see. It looks that way initially, yeah. It looks like we'll take what we've got, but it can soon turn into a really positive one if he throws the wing backs high and wide early.
Mavropanos just got involved in a tussle with Evan Nilsson, in which Evan Nilsson ended up tumbling through the box. It was a little bit clumsy, that. Did end up getting waved away by Chris Kavanagh as the ball went forward through the middle of the pitch. Here is Kilman.
3-4-3, yeah.
3-4-3, not what we're going with. Here is Ouattara on the near side.
Well, you've got Wan-Bissaka wing back, Scales, Souček and Paquetá in the middle with Bowen and Somerville flanking Fulkrug.
Yeah.
So it depends. It could become attacking. It could also be what you said. Could become a 4-5-1 quite quickly.
Here is Tyler Adams infield towards Brooks. Didn't come off Kluivert, and then Brooks goes down injured. It's going to be a free kick. We've got a big 15 minutes here to go, because if Lopetegui doesn't get this change right, then Bournemouth go on and win the game. There's going to be a few eyebrows raised, I think. Here's Kirkes. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him anyway, because I don't think they can continue with this situation as it is at the moment, where every game is, or is this the one where he loses his job? That's not a good working environment for anyone.
No, not for the players especially. Never mind him.
Here's Brooks over on the far side, getting towards the edge of the box, into Kluivert, then back wide again, gets the return ball, he's in behind here, Kluivert sends it into the centre of the 6-yard box, but again it was cut out by Souček, and it's away for a throw into Bournemouth.
I mean, they've got themselves in some good positions, Sam, to be honest, haven't they, Bournemouth at times, but it's been that little bit of quality, that little bit of cleverness in the final third, you know, it's just pushed in there, it's not thought.
It's not crisp enough.
Yeah.
Here's Kirkes, tries to deliver a ball into the box, which again takes a flick into the air. Tyler Adams looks to recycle it back out to Kirkes. Back with Tyler Adams once more, and then it's with Housen, and then across to Zabarnyi. 0-0 on TalkSport. Zabarnyi takes a risk, comes forward, and then fires the ball high into the air. Easily away by Wan-Bissaka in the right fullback position, but it's a Bournemouth shirt that wins it first. Ouattara. Then back into Tyler Adams, now onto Kluivert. Kluivert tries to get the ball into the box, stretching to clear it was Mavropanos before it could reach a black and red jersey, and it goes out again for another throw, which is quickly taken. Kluivert. They want to up the tempo here, Bournemouth, as they go into the closing stages at the Vitality Stadium on TalkSport.
It does feel like they're taking what they've got, which these West Ham fans won't be happy about, because they actually had a bit of momentum. Oh, here we go. Now he's lost it.
Christie's got it on the centre circle. And two West Ham players are out of the game, and there's space over on the far side, the right, if they want to use it. Kluivert goes for goal instead, and he got right behind that, and from 20 yards out he fizzed that towards the far corner, and it wasn't far away. And now we are going to see Enis Unal and Philip Billing, and interestingly, that's the difference, isn't it? West Ham have gone into a more pragmatic shape to try and get through the rest of the game.
I think so.
That they need to try and get something from it, whereas now Iraola is throwing on another two aggressive players. Evan Nilsson and Kluivert are the ones that go.
I think if you ever go to 5 at the back, whether you see it as a 3 or wing backs as a fan or as a pundit, it tends to be a negative thing later in a game. You don't tend to go to a 3 and wing backs to try and go and win a game, do you?
Enis Unal scored in that game at Portman Road, and he's on the hunt here as Mavropanos sends it back to Fabianski. And I think it is worth pointing out we are at that time where we should say that Bournemouth absolutely love a late show. 9 of their goals have come in the final 15 minutes of matches this season, and a show of flair for the dramatic. 5 of them have come in stoppage time. Here is Philip Billing chasing and getting the better of Sofal. Sends it on to Ouattara. Sofal felt he was fouled. The ball into the box. Comes towards Billing. Off the line brilliantly. Comes back to Christie, edge of the area. Can he finish it? Left footed. To save by Fabianski. Back to Brooks. Across the face of goal. Christie with the end. Slips it behind. Was there a handball there? It goes behind and away for a corner. Well, Sofal still down. Brilliant attack. Won by Billing. Then it was all hands to the pump.
It was good from Billing. It's a brilliant block from Kilman. He reads it really well as Billing tries to tuck it in the bottom corner. Then it comes out to Christie, who gets his shove on his left foot. It's a good save from Fabianski.
Going to be a corner right at the end of the game. I'll say right at the end of the game. We've got a little bit longer than that to go, 10 minutes or so yet.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I don't get excited. I didn't pick you up when you started naming band members from the Scott 5.
Or golf players.
9 minutes to go. Ball in towards the near post. Oh, it comes off Tyler Adams. Looked like it hit his hand. The referee said no. Cook, brilliant ball out towards the near side to keep things alive. Left-footed cross. Christie pops it into the air off the defender. And won by Paquetá, who looks to escape for West Ham. Somerville trying to chase it down the right side. Adams is there. Launches himself into the air and it goes out over on the far side. I think Semenyo went off with what looked like a hamstring injury. We're going to speak to the managers live into TalkSport and the Sports Bar after full time.
Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. Quick reminder: the 2021 World Darts Champion Gerwyn Price gets his PDC Darts World Championship campaign underway in 40 minutes. 10 past 10. TalkSport 2 for that. We've got the darts on the radio is brilliant, by the way. Give it a shout. Here is Somerville left side for West Ham United. Ghosting down the outside of the defence, he goes to ground. Under pressure from Adams, they want a free kick that West Ham fans they're not going to get, and then Cook will clear upfield. And Isu now gets pushed in the back by Kilman. The ball goes out for I think a throw-in over on the far side, but it might well be a free kick against Kilman. There's a throw-in over on that far side, and it's with the Bournemouth defence once again. 8 minutes to go. This Saturday night, TalkSport got live commentary of the huge unifying heavyweight world title rematch between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury live from Saudi Arabia. Here's Wan-Bissaka clipping the ball into the box. Ball with the header, saved by Ali the Balaga, and then cleared away by the Bournemouth defence. What a chance that was for the German. In goes Paquetá as West Ham come forward. The ball dribbles behind. It's a misjudgment from Somerville and it goes out for a goal kick, but Fulkrug there with a major chance for West Ham United. The cross stood up into the box. He wanted it more than anybody. He fought for it and he grabbed it, headed it down towards the goal, and Fabianski saved from point either Balaga saved from point blank range.
Even you're doing it. Listen, that was brilliant from Wan-Bissaka. Anticipation, then the energy to get past his man and stand up that cross from Fulkrug. Great timing of the run, brilliant header. He's unlucky, to be fair.
Handball. Checking for a possible handball. Tyler Adams has got his arm outstretched. Did it hit his hand on the way through to Fulkrug? The cross from Wan-Bissaka. The arm was out.
He's in a natural position though, isn't he?
Well, his arms are wider than his silhouette of his
Yeah.
body, and his arm is up above his shoulder there. If they think that that's contact, they're going to give a penalty. I don't
No.
think it is.
Yeah, he's going over.
But the referee's going to give a penalty here. I think he went in as a natural motion to try and block the cross, and as a result, his arms naturally gravitate above his head.
Well, I think
it's the tiniest of little flick. If he sees that it's clear evidence of a hand, he's going to give a penalty.
Well, he
here
might
for
do,
West
but
Ham.
it's never a penalty in a million years. It's bizarre. You can't give penalties for that. I mean, the game's gone mad. If we can't get this out, I understand if the rule even lets him apply it, but it's not. He's gone to block the ball, and actually, the flick of the hand has put it on Fulkrug's head. If he'd have scored, would they have disallowed it? Of course they wouldn't.
Well, Chris Kavanagh's looking at the monitor in conjunction with Michael Salisbury as the VAR. They're going to give this penalty. They're going to. This is going to be a West Ham United penalty. I'm absolutely convinced about it, because if they see any evidence that it touched his hand, any at all, they will say that the hand is above the shoulder, and that will be enough for them to give a penalty. He's still looking at the monitor over on the far side. He doesn't look convinced, so it can't be clear and it can't be obvious. But as he walks over to the near side, he points to the spot. It is a penalty.
Clueless. And they'll say they're applying the rules, but it's just it's complete lack of understanding if they've given that.
Well, there's another incident here. Fulkrug is accusing Housen and Arida Balaga of scuffing up the spot, I think, away to our right-hand side. And now Souček is acting as groundsman and planting it back where it should be. And we are going to have a penalty. Fulkrug is going mad. I think Bowen is going to be the one to take it. West Ham have scored 11 of their last 12 Premier League penalties. The last player to miss for West Ham was Saeed Benrahma against Arsenal a year ago. It's the first time this season that Bournemouth have conceded a penalty. Paquetá has taken the ball into his hands, which is, I think, a little bit of a surprise, really. He's put the ball down.
Surprise. Why is Bowen not taking it?
It's going to be Lucas Paquetá, who sent a rather obscure tweet out earlier on today, saying that this is not where he is from, and he will go back home one day. The West Ham fans don't want him to go back home just yet, but they do want to take all 3 points home. Maybe he can deliver them. Paquetá from the penalty spot steps up in front of Arida Balaga and pops it in the corner, and West Ham United lead with 3.5 minutes to go down on the south coast. West Ham United taking charge of the game. Julian Lopetegui says he loves being the West Ham boss. Maybe he will stay in his post just a little bit longer. Bournemouth 0, West Ham 1. It's Lucas Paquetá embracing his manager on this near side and celebrating what might be the winning goal.
That's a nice touch, you know. That's a nice touch. We alluded earlier that maybe they're having a few problems, but Paquetá's gone over to the manager, give him a big hug there. Great pen. Don't like the style of the way he takes the pen, but job done, right in the corner.
West Ham United on the verge of another victory at the Vitality Stadium. I don't know what it is about this place, but whenever they play Bournemouth, they don't lose. West Ham.
We have to get to a point where handballs like that aren't dictating football matches, don't we? We have to.
The sports bar is going to be flooded with calls, I think, tonight. 03717 2233 44. That's the number to call. Jamie and Jason poised, waiting to take your calls. What do they think about that handball?
Well, do you know what? Sometimes not even what we think is it. We know the rules now, and they're probably abiding by them to a degree.
They are.
The reality is, we can't have this level of football being decided on ridiculous. I mean, it's got to be back to deliberate handball, hasn't it? It's got to go back to deliberate handball.
I mean, I think that is one of those motions that Tyler Adams has committed there. That is both his arms being out of his natural silhouette of his body, but a natural movement.
Exactly that.
And that's where, as a referee, you have to almost apply a bit of common sense.
Because it was natural. He's not trying to handball.
Adrian Dunham's just giving me a dirty look. The suggestion that they might do that seems to be an anathema. Here, 90 seconds to go. They've won a free kick. Enis Unal has been fouled by Mavropanos on the edge of the penalty area. And standing over the ball, Enis Unal and Philip Billing. Lewis Cook there as well. It's 1-0 to West Ham going into the final minute. Remember, they were 1-0 down going into stoppage time. Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry.
Against Ipswich last week.
Forgot I was on air.
What happens next? Enis Unal steps up for a free kick, which is dead centre, just 5 yards outside the D. Hits it right footed in. Oh yes! What a goal! What an equaliser! What a strike! It's amazing! It's hit with power and precision. It's into the postage stamp, and Enis Unal has levelled the score just moments after West Ham went in front. It's a terrific Christmas cracker from Enis Unal, and it's 1-1.
Well, that is as good a free kick as you will see. Beautiful technique. Right away out. Over the wall, dipping, curling away from the keeper's right hand. What a goal that is. Yeah, that's a beautiful technique.
What did I tell you? Bournemouth, they love the late show.
What did I tell you? It's not going to be 0-0.
It's 1-1, and there are 8 minutes of added time.
8?
8 more minutes of entertainment to come on Talk Sport. Adams cracks into a challenge with Fulcro. The ball spills to the near side. Brilliant moment for Enis Unal. Didn't really over-celebrate what was a terrific goal. He wants a free kick here. Billings emerged with the ball, so they play on. And Bournemouth might think there's a winner in this for them now, because the momentum has shifted just after West Ham had taken the lead.
Well, this is the great thing about the Premier League and football, isn't it? Not just Premier League, all football, is that you can be meandering our way through a game from a commentary point of view, and then the excitement gets you, the contentious issues get you, and all of a sudden the crowd's gone mad.
I mean, who'd be a football manager? You get yourself a bit of fortune, you go in front, and then all of a sudden you're back to square one again. And Julian Lopetegui absolutely furious on this near side. Can't believe it. He'd be furious with Mavropanos for giving away the free kick in the first place.
Yeah, maybe.
Ball cleared out towards the near side, and it's headed away by Kirkesh. Forward by Ouattara, and now Christie charges forward. He's got Kirkesh on the near touchline.
Oh, they couldn't, could they?
Ouattara runs on the underlap, goes past Sofal, gets into the area. His cross hits Sofal, goes out for a corner. We're into the final few minutes here. We're in stoppage time. It's 1-1 on TalkSport. Can they turn it around again? They did it at Portman Road. They're on the front foot here. West Ham are wobbling, and their fans who were jubilant just mere seconds ago are now nervous once more. West Ham thought that they'd got away with a bit of fortune, and now all of a sudden they're under the pump. Here's the corner to be taken by Christie. Left-footed in towards the near post. Flicked on by Adams. Away as far as Brooks, who helps it back in. He's overhit it. It's over the bar.
Yeah, maybe we're asking too much to get one last dramatic moment, but got plenty of time. What's that say, 93?
There's a clock up there. It's a little bit closer for you.
Oh, yeah, 93.
Old man eyes.
92 and a half.
We've still got 6.5 minutes to go. You're listening to Talk Sport, and we're at the Vitality Stadium. The sports bar follows us. 03717223344. Keelan Casey about to come on for a debut in the Premier League for Julian Lopetegui.
You said about the subs as well, making a difference.
It's the 8th time a substitute's come off the bench and scored a goal for Bournemouth this season. They love a tactical change, and that's where I think Andoni Iraola is so cherished here at the Vitality Stadium, because they can see that what he does is they're giving the ball away. Kilman doing this, and now with the shot, and it's cleared away by recovering Kilman, but they're a little bit misshapen as Ouattara sends it back into the centre, looking for Billing. Comes back out as far as Housen.
Did well there, Kilman. Brilliant defending from Kilman. He didn't panic, really good. Kept his calm, moved his feet nicely, got the block in. That would have been a hammer blow. No pun intended. Or a blow for the hammers. Better.
Here is Philip Billing.
Oh, I'm falling into your trap.
Yeah, you need a little bit of work on that.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
We can sort that out. Cook over on the far side takes the ball off Somerville. They've left four men behind the ball here as West Ham have to defend. Across goes Skulls and gets there ahead of David Brooks. It's back with Christie. Christie goes past Paquetá, then gets chopped by Paquetá. That's going to be a free kick. It could be a yellow card this for Paquetá. I think he might avoid one. They will hope that he does, because if he gets booked, he's going to miss the game at the weekend as well against Brighton Hove Albion. It's Manchester United away next for Bournemouth on Sunday. Amorim won't relish that. Crystal Palace and Fulham will follow that. I tell you what, they could have a good end to this calendar year, Bournemouth. On comes Casey to replace Wan-Bissaka. Interesting change with a couple of minutes to go.
Just height. Oh, they've taken it quick.
And it's gone in towards the near post, but Fabianski grabs it with his hands, and it wasn't a brilliantly crafted set piece. Billing though keeps it alive. Fabianski's giving it straight to him. He switched the play brilliantly to Brooks. Brooks brings it down inside the penalty area. He's got options on the edge of the box, who now tries to get there above the defender. It drops off of Kilman and goes out for another corner. But I'll tell you what, if nothing else, they've kept us on the edge of their seat to the end.
They have, but why is Fabianski trying to throw it half the length of the pitch for a counter-attack when they're away from home against this team under pressure?
Same thing last week. We were at the Monday Night Football, and Paquetá plays a stupid ball forward right at the end when they're trying to hold on. Just keep hold of it.
Bad decision-making.
Game management.
Could cost them.
If it comes back to haunt them, that's what will be the talking point. They've got two men on the edge of the penalty area here. The cross is deep. It's right underneath the goalkeeper. It's hit by Kirkes and blocked by Somerville. He did well. And they've got to hold firm here, West Ham. They don't want to capitulate. The ball dripped in by Cook. Across comes Kilman, brilliant header, but it's Billing who gets there first, comes back out to Tyler Adams, ricochets on the edge of the box, comes back to Christie. It's still not clear. 96 minutes have now been played. We've got two still to play, live on Talk Sport, as the end of this game becomes a right thriller minute ride. Somerville hemmed in over in the corner. Kilman just smashes it high. And up towards Fulkrug is beaten in the air by Lewis Cook. It drops on the chest of Bowen. Forward again it goes, into Somerville. Somerville tries to turn, but he's blocked by Christie. It's loose. Cook's got it back. West Ham getting irritated. Their supporters over on the far side getting irritated because they're giving the ball away, but they've won it back. Bowen onto the near side, collected over on the far touchline now by Skulls. His cross takes a deflection, might come through to Fulkrug, sets it up for Sofa, and it hits the back of Hausen and comes out on this near side.
I thought it was in from our angle till he blocked it.
Well, it was heading in before Hausen stood in the way.
Yeah. Can't believe there's people leaving.
No, don't go. It's only 11,000 to get in here.
I know.
It's not like a massive queue to get out, lads. Well, Sofau knows that West Ham now have one more chance to get the ball into the box. Sofau has just
beaten back
on his toes. He sent it back towards Kilman. Kilman's going to send this into the area. He flips it to the far post. Arida Balaga has spilt it, and he's got it at the second attempt. Now he wants to get it forward. Oh, it's like basketball this. It's 4-on-4, and across comes Brooks. Over the halfway line he rushes, gets into the opposition half, tries to take on Somerville. He turns it back in field now, releases it to Kirkes. Can he hit it? No, he goes wide to Ouattara instead. Ouattara's effort.
What a bad decision to shoot.
Hasn't he squared it?
He's got to cross it. He's got four men in the box. Tight angles, tired legs, tired thinking. Understandable. Some of these lads have left everything out there. Both sets of teams have had a good go, to be fair.
What a great end to the match. It's been a frustrating fixture for the Cherries this over the last few years. They haven't won against West Ham since 2019, and they might yet lose it yet because Bowen is going through the middle. Even though when West Ham are at their lowest ebb, it's still impossible to beat them for Bournemouth. Or is it? Christie, forward. Enisu now couldn't control it. He got in the way there because that ball was heading towards Brooks. Cook goes over the top, falls to the ground. The referee's going to blow the full-time whistle. Great end. It is a South Coast stalemate. A hug of appreciation between Iriola and Lopetegui. Bournemouth's wait for a victory over West Ham goes on, and they missed the chance to go above Manchester City. But for the Hammers fans who have watched their team fluctuate and flounder all season, moments before the end, they thought they were taking all 3 points. 88 minutes on the clock. It was 1-0 thanks to a penalty. It might have been fortunate, the award, but it was definitely within the laws of the game. And then Enis Unal stepped up just 90 seconds later and stuck away a perfect free kick to rescue a point for Bournemouth. Bournemouth 1, West Ham 1.